Okay. I was messaging one of my good friends, Scotty from Unpaid Movie Critic, and I burst out laughing at one scene. This is Obsessed with the Babysitter. This came out a couple weeks ago on Lifetime. This is Elaine. An injured dancer catches the eye of a deranged psychologist who believes her to be the perfect woman. Realizing he is manipulating her mind and her injury against her, Elaine must escape with the children before she becomes another casualty in his psychotic study. He ends up killing his wife at the very beginning of the movie because Elaine is attractive in a swimsuit. That's pretty much it. She looks hot in a bathing suit, and that is his way of saying, hey, I want to basically keep this girl around. And he also starts manipulating the children because he's not actually their father. They call him by his name, Adrian. And they aren't very comfortable with calling him dad or daddy, and it starts to get a little bit creepy, and not in a good way. It starts to get a little bit creepy in like a pedo way. This movie isn't trying to be like that. It is not trying to be like that. Elaine is played by Kristen Vaganos. Very pretty lady. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. They sex her up so much throughout this movie that you almost can't blame the guy because it's almost like she's trying. She has a boyfriend who is a dancer as well, and they're getting ready to do this like show or talent show or something like that. And they start dancing in one of the scenes, and all of a sudden, it looks like they're about to get it on, because he starts going down her body with his face and with his hand, and then it just cuts to black, and I'm assuming that they had sex right there. The scene where the mother who's really bad, really bad, I believe her name was Sophia, is way overacted and unneeded. They sex Kristen up so much in this movie where you're kind of like, well, it's not like you were asking for it, but the guy is only human. Now, I'm not defending what this guy did at all. This is the writer's fault and the director's fault for having her do this stuff. Having her grind on her boyfriend, potentially knowing that this guy is watching you, because he's just there all of a sudden. All of a sudden he calls you right when you're getting into it with your boyfriend. He can see you in your bathing suit, which is very skimpy. You know that he sees you. That's what makes no sense to me. She looks right up at him in the window with his, I don't know exactly what you call it, a one-eyed telescope, I guess? One-eyed telescope? You know, one of those things that you just drew and it extends out and you can see pretty far, but it's not for space. She knows he does that. And she's creeped out by that. But somehow she just keeps being sexed up for no apparent reason. And it's pretty much just to say, hey, we have an attractive woman here. Stare at her, guys, because you know that guys are going to be forced to watch this movie with their wives or girlfriends or something like that who watch these movies. I've never seen her in anything else. I don't believe I've seen her in anything else. I'm looking at her IMDb right now, and I don't recognize a single thing she's been in. I don't recognize a single thing. I'm gonna say that she's a very good actress. I'm wishing her well with her career, but just don't choose these movies. Don't choose these movies because it's work. Choose the movies you do based on the good scripts, based on good direction. Check out the director's other work. Because Brian Skiba, or Skiba, or some crap, has directed stuff before. He has directed stuff. Granted, a lot of it has been Lifetime and Hallmarkish movies, as well as quite a few Christmas films, a couple horror films as well. I'm seeing Merry Xmas with Dean Cain. I'm seeing Beverly Hills Christmas with Dean Cain. Running Away. The Lifetime movie, he directed The Christmas Truce, which I do have, but I haven't seen. Rotten Tail, a slasher film, A Woman's Nightmare, Chokehold, My Adventures with Santa, The Second, with Ryan Felipe, and Casper Van Dien. That's a movie that got very popular out of freaking nowhere because it just popped up on Netflix and it just gained a little bit of popularity. Look at the work that the guy does. This movie really, once you think about it, makes no goddamn sense. It makes no goddamn sense. A woman is not going to continue to babysit your kids when she sees you staring at her and stalking her with a bikini on, with her bathing suit on, and his wife gets mad, she ends up getting killed, and all of a sudden nobody suspects him. The movie goes insane. The guy, okay, fine. You see a pretty girl, fine. You're attracted to her, fine. But here's the thing. You don't go into her place and start smelling her underwear and moaning after you smell the underwear. That's something that a B movie does. I've seen that done a time or two. This is not a new thing. This is a thing that happens in the movies. I've seen it done in comedies where it's in like a college or high school sex comedy. I've seen it done in a serious way. But this was not needed. This was just to make him look a little more insane. And you did that, but it was more creepy than insane. And it's not creepy in a good way. This guy wasn't creepy. He was over the top. He was uselessly... I don't know what I want to say here. The movie just tries too hard to push this guy as a creeper. As this stalker. As this potentially abusive figure. The kids aren't that good of actors. But I'm going to let them slide. Because they were in a Lifetime movie and this might be their first or second project. Is it their first or second project? This is the girl who plays Lily. In the movie, this is her second project. What about the girl who plays Mackenzie? Is this her second project? This is her third project. So I'm not going to really fault them for this. They had no good direction, a bad scriptwriter. Who the hell wrote this script? Helen Marsh? Who's Helen Marsh and what has she written? Nothing of note. His Deadly Affair, The Hit Couple. So a bunch of stuff that really nobody's seen. His Deadly Affair was probably a Lifetime film. What about Break Up and Break In? Is that a Lifetime film? No, that's a short. This film is just very out there. It's a Lifetime film that is not only bad, it's awful. But it was so entertainingly awful as well. When he sniffed her underwear, I burst out laughing because I was not expecting that to happen in this movie. This is something I was not expecting. There's my 11-minute review of Obsessed with the Babysitter. I did watch the Nanny Murders, but I'm not going to review that. Just check out my rating on my letterbox. Noah Caser 99 on there. This is a film that is not worth your time unless you want to sit down and really just have a good time. Like, watch Obsessed with the Babysitter. Watch The Fanatic. Because there's some really out there and hilarious sniffing scenes in that too. But those were just, it felt like it was just needed in that movie because it just felt like that's what that character would do. And by the way, I'm totally BSing you. Nobody does that. But anyways, guys, there's my review for Obsessed with the Babysitter. It's a bad film. Sadly, it's probably the best Lifetime movie that I've seen this year so far, but that's not saying much. Obsessed with the Babysitter is getting a C-. I will see all of you guys next time for my review of Penguin Bloom. Actually, I am shooting Penguin Bloom up next, but I'm uploading that after. I'm uploading that review first. So check out my review for Penguin Bloom, and I will see all of you guys next time.